thy mouth shut to the women that's in. It's basically the woman you laid up in bed with. You gotta look at her sideways. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know. This is what it's saying right here in Micah chapter 7, verse 5. Read it again. You can't trust your friend, the people that's over you and that's supposed to be guiding you in the right direction. You can't trust them, even your woman. Right? Read it again.
Trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom.
Right? So I just explained all of that. You understand what that means, right? You can't even trust your friends. You can't trust the people that's supposed to be leading you in the right direction. You can't even trust the sister that you laying down with. All right, go ahead to verse 6.
For the son dishonor the father. The daughter riseth up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
This is the time. Keep going. That's it.
A man's enemies are the man of his own house.
Or them of his own household. Here's the thing. What you got to understand is this is talking about being in the truth. Michael was in the truth, and he looking around and he's seeing all of this. He said, woe unto me, because I'm looking for other brothers with like minds to get on board. Let's go follow and keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Let's raise up this nation. He look around. He see thugs. He see goons. He see niggas that want to rob you, niggas that want to, you know what I'm saying, do something that is against the Lord. He's saying this thing got to the point where you can't trust your best friend. You can't trust the person that's supposed to be leading you righteously. You can't trust the woman that's in your bosom. Then he said there's going to come a time, and at that point in time, he said it, the son dishonoreth the father. Man, how many people you know, because they don't know what happened between their mama. They don't know that their mama was really a hoe. You know what I'm saying? But they dishonoring their father because he wasn't never around, but they don't know the hell that their mama might have put him through. They don't know about the police and the child support and the 911 and all of this other stuff, why the reason why he wasn't around. Right? Son dishonoring the father. Daughter is rising up against her mama. All of this. What this is talking about is your family, right? Christ used the same thing. He was saying that it's going to come a time where it's going to be like that. I know when I first came into the truth, I was hearing stories of brothers that was selling dope. They was out in the corner. They was doing everything against the Lord, robbing niggas, everything. Old girl right there. She getting her Birkin bag, her red bottoms, all this other stuff. She getting all that on, right? Brother decides to change his life, coming to the truth. I had a officer tell me this. Brother decides to change his life, coming to the truth, lose everything. Now all of a sudden he's the devil. His mama don't love him no more. His girl leave him. All this other stuff because he want to change his life and serve the Lord. You serve that paper, they want to serve that paper with you. You understand? You serve whatever they serve, whatever is Halloween or whatever they coming out. All of that they right along with you. Nigga, you trying to change your life? Ain't nobody got your back on that. You're gonna have to fly solo. You're going to have to do it differently. That's why the brotherhood is so important, because that's what Micah is talking about. It's a time where all these people going to ride it, and the people that's in your household, the people that's in your house, your family, the people you choose and you think that's closest to you, they're the ones who are going to have the biggest problem with you following and serving the Lord. And that's what it's talking about. All right? You got it? All right. So YouTube, we should be up. Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We started out at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, back in 1969. We are now under commanding General Yohana. Let me get this joint put up in the on the Facebook. If anybody want to come in, and also I'll say this probably one more time. If you want to call in, the number is 305-958. Is it 958? 5452, 5453, 983, 985, something. Let me see here. I got it.
985, 5453.
Yeah. 985-5453. 305-985-5453. So you can go ahead and call in, ask any questions. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm just now sharing it into the Facebook. All right. So, anyways, this is the Truth 101 class we have every Monday. If you're in Duval County, we're in Brentwood Library. Come in and learn the Bible for real, what your pastor will not teach you. And the purpose of this class is to teach the basics of the Bible. A lot of people finding out that the Jews, real Jews, was black, that blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians in the North, and predominantly in North and South America and scattered throughout the four corners of the earth are the real Jews and God's chosen people. Now, where you go from there, though? Give me Hebrews 5 and 12. Where you go from there once you know that? You know that they are the Lord's chosen people. All right, then what it is, all you've been taught all your life, God love everybody, the law is done away with, all these different things. Well, you don't necessarily have any type of righteous leadership, and that's what the world is missing, righteous leadership. But what we're here to do in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is to bring the law, statutes, and commandments back, is to teach people how to follow these laws, how to apply it to your everyday life. It's one thing for you to teach the Bible and to say, oh, yeah, I see how that can work. It's another thing to actually do it, all right? You got the scripture for me out?
5 and 12.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. You need this one? All right, go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have the need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God.
That's it? Go ahead.
And are become such as have need of milk.
We need a what?
Milk.
Okay.
And not of strong meat.
This is the point of the class. We used to call this class the milk class for some fake Israelites stole the name, right? But the whole point is for you to get the basics of the organs of Jah. Is this the time right here where we're supposed to be raising up a nation of kings and priests that the Lord had us doing what Christ did, going out, but don't nobody got the truth except one people on the earth. It ain't no 50 different truths. It ain't no 105 different things. We all gonna come together under one rainbow coalition. Christ said, those my enemies who would not have me run over them, bring them and slay them before my face. I'm paraphrasing. He said, those people that's out teaching, you let them teach. John wasn't in the truth. If you wasn't a disciple of Christ, you wasn't in Christ's camp, you did not have the truth. And it ain't no different today. So our job is, it's now a time where we should be teaching, but we can have a need that somebody teach us again. And not teach us all that deep, heavy stuff, but teach us the first oracles, the principles of the oracles of God. All right, so that's what we do here every Monday night. Priest and Officer Kazak tomorrow. And what we're going to do is we're going to say that the rest of the questions that we'll have to the end of the class, and we're going to go ahead and get into tonight's topic. I got a whole bunch of scriptures I want to bring out on this topic. It's a big deal. It's a big deal in Israel. People talk about it all the time. And I want to go ahead and get right to it. All right, so what we're going to be talking about tonight, we're going to be talking about marriage. We're going to be talking about divorce. We're going to be talking about adultery. We're going to be talking about multiple wives. This class is about marriage and what the Lord said about it. Not what your mama said about it, not what the preacher said, but what in the Bible. So we're going to actually go through some scriptures real quick. Now, if you ask any Christian what marriage is, what they gonna say?
Like,
go ahead.
That piece of paper that the white man
go ahead and you gotta say it nice and loud for the brothers.
That piece of paper that the white man offers.
Sharatazar, you heard that? You ain't hear him, did you? What you said?
Marriage, according to Christians, is that piece of paper that the white man offers.
He says that. You heard him that time? All right, he says that piece of paper that the white man offers. Would you hear anything else? Go ahead.
Marriage is a man having one wife and happy life, happy wife. Cool.
All right, what I was thinking is if I asked a Christian what was marriage, they would say two people coming together or something like that, right? How can two people come together? Go ahead.
Sex.
Have sex. How else do two people come together? So that's the point. Even according to the Christians, they don't know this, but sex is marriage. And according to the Bible, it is as well, too. So let's go to the beginning of marriage. Let's go ahead and get it started. Give me Genesis chapter 2. Trey, you got a sword over there, right? All right, Genesis chapter 2. Verse 18. Matter of fact, before we get that, I want to get Genesis chapter 1. I want to show y'all something real quick. I'm going to try to float through this. It's a whole bunch of scriptures I got. If I don't get to all of them, I'm going to have to get to some of them next week because we don't have that much time. All right. I'm going to get to as many as I can. If anybody have any questions, make sure and stop me. All right.
I do have a YouTube question. It's off topic, of course.
Who is it?
It's purpose.
What's the question?
Question is, he learned from the Christian church that Job was faithful throughout his trials with wavering until he said he wished he was without wavering, sloppy. Until he said he wished he was never born. Can you explain?
All right. This is what you do. You call in. It's 305-985-5453. The brother that's on the YouTube that asked that question, call in. Once I get done with the topic, we'll go into that, all right? And that's probably going to be offline. It's probably not going to be on the YouTube. So call in 305-954-985. So like I keep getting the number wrong. 385-985-5453. And then at 8 o'clock, what we're going to do is I'll answer all the questions. All right, so let me get through it. You got it? Genesis 2:18. Go ahead.
And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him and help meet for him. And out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field.
Okay, so check this out, right? He said, it's not good for a man to be alone. This is the Lord. He created the man, and men already had wives by this time. Y'all know that, right? So when he formed and pulled Adam off into the truth, now Adam in the truth by himself. He ain't got nobody else that's going to follow the laws and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You don't believe what I just said about men already having wives? Give me flip over one page, Genesis 1:27 real quick. Genesis, now you stay there, Trey. Genesis 1:27, y'all.
Okay. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female.
Read it again.
Male and female.
He created both male and female in Genesis 1. Now this talking about Adam right here in Genesis 2. What did he tell Adam? Keep reading.
And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply.
Do what now?
Be fruitful and multiply.
How do you be fruitful and multiply? It's only one way. A man and a woman has to come together for that to happen. That's the first reason for marriage right there. To be fruitful and to multiply, to regenerate and populate the earth, for the Lord's seed that he put in here to grow and to regenerate. That's the first reason for marriage. Now let's go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 19. Or verse 20. Trey.
And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an help meet for him.
All right, so this is what we got to separate. First thing was that word, when people oftentimes when they say it, they say help mate. That word is not help mate. That word is meet. And that word meet means suitable. Meat means suitable. It's just like when Christ told her it's not meat to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. It's not suitable to do that. That's what that means. So he didn't find a help that was suitable for him. He in the truth now. He's doing everything the Lord has. That's what the Lord created man to do. Ecclesiastes 12:13 says, love God, keep his commandments. This is the whole fear God and keep his commandments. This is the whole duty of man, to do what the Lord said to do. So Adam's out doing what the Lord said to do, but he don't got no help doing it. And if he did have help, he ain't got help that's suitable. Keep going on.
Verse 21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
So, all right, so he took a part of the body, right? He took a part of the body and gave Adam a rib. And then he said, nah, it's only going to be this right here. This is the only thing that I'm going to take this person or this part of the body and I'm going to use it, right? Let's see. Let's do this. Anyways, what we're doing is going back. We're going over marriage, and we went all the way back to Adam and Eve. Let's go. Let's skip for the sake of time because I don't got a whole bunch of time. Go to Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1. What I want you to do is get me in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Saratazar, you got a Zondervan Bible Dictionary with you? All right, I want you to get me marriage in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, all right? Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. Yeah.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife.
What do you mean by that? What that mean? Adam knew Eve.
So
like he met her? What?
He had sex with her.
He had sex with her. Now it's calling him her real, his family, and all of this. Now Adam knew Eve. So what we did, we go into the marriage of Adam and Eve. So Adam knew Eve, right? And what happened after he knew Eve?
And she conceived and bore Cain, his brother Abel.
And said,
and said, I have gotten a man from the Most High.
This is the first marriage that's talked about in the Bible, right? Adam knew Eve. They ain't have no minister. They ain't have no piece of paper. They ain't have nothing. What you'll find out is giving your body to somebody is way more important than any piece of paper you can get from the government. You don't need no type of permission from any governing authority in order for you to lay down with somebody. It's people doing that all over. And what they don't understand is the Lord said that if you lay down with somebody, you're supposed to stay with them for the rest of your life. It's just that simple. Throughout all their foolishness, throughout all their crazy times, you got to stay there. So here's the key. What a lot of Israelites don't understand coming into this thing. What is the strongest man in the truth? The strongest type of man. Now we're talking about marriage. Go ahead.
A man that obeys the Most High, despite.
We talking about marriage, though. You know anybody? Sharatazai, you know, right?
So I guess the strongest. I'm not sure, sir.
All right. What did Paul say about a man having a wife? Go ahead, No, what did Paul say? Go ahead. Who said Salaki?
He's saying it's optional. Like you don't have to have one.
No, that's not what Paul said. What Paul said is, let's go ahead and get it. I'm gonna have to take it slow on this because this is very important. All right. Hold on. I didn't know we was gonna have to go there, so give me a second.
Like you also in the shot answered on give an answer on YouTube.
What's the answer?
He said a man with a helpmeet.
Wrong. Salakia. Officer Nashak, you on the line? Huh? Maybe he just on the YouTube. All right. All right. So let me get First Corinthians 7:7. Let's get 1 Corinthians 7:7 first. We could walk through it slow. I wanted to get it done because we only had a little bit of time and I got a lot to go over. What we might have to do is table some of this stuff till next week. Because it seemed like we got to walk through it. And this is Truth 101. So I don't want to move too fast trying to get everything in and you not get the basics. Let me give you an answer, though. The answer to the question was the strongest type of man in the truth is the man that does not have a wife. That's the strongest type of man in the truth. Everybody understand why? Why? Go ahead.
Because he doesn't have to deal with the affairs of the woman.
Now you get it. Now you get it. It's brothers that's over there in the middle of a war and they think about their wife and their kids and all of that. Right? They ain't thinking about what they supposed to be carrying out and what they supposed to be doing. Whoever got it, go ahead and read it. Yamaya, you got it? Let's get it.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 7. For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man hath his proper gift of God, one after this manner, and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I.
You see that? He's saying that for if you ain't married or if you're a widow and you trying to do this work, it'll be good for you to be like him. The strongest men in this truth, Christ didn't have a rib. Christ's rib was this truth. Christ's main thing was this work. Right? Paul the same way. If you don't know somebody who don't know no better, they'll understand. They don't understand it because men so carnal. Nigga gotta have that box on. Got to. But Paul's saying, if you're gonna do this work, I would have you be like me and not have none. And I say to the widow and unmarried, what? If you ain't what?
It is good for them if they abide even as I, but if they cannot contain, let them marry.
If you can't contain yourself, go ahead and get you some meat. Go ahead and get you some help. Go ahead and get you a rib. But the strongest men in the truth are the ones who don't have no rib, who don't have to fight. You know why? Because they can counsel 24 hours a day. They can teach 24 hours a day. They're not unclean because they slept with their woman last night. It's rules that say, you know what I'm saying, you sleep with your woman, you are unclean until the sun go down. Let's say if I got 5 ribs, I'm trying to get it in Sunday night. I got a class on Monday night. I'd be unclean to come in here and teach y'all, brother. Everybody understand why the strongest man in the truth is a man without a wife, right?
I don't come.
All right. So now that we got that out the way, sex is marriage. That's what we was talking about. Let's go back to it. Go ahead.
Going back to Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. I wanted to ask something because I see where it say Adam knew Eve, his wife, but she wasn't in the truth anymore at this point.
What you mean?
I was asking that because I see where she said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Like she knew that all life and all source came from the Most High.
That's what the whole point in Eve was. When it says a help that was suitable for him, Eve was in the truth too. But it's a difference between a man being in the truth and a woman being in the truth. All right? The Lord gave the laws to Adam. It's his job to give Eve the laws. She got to do what her husband say. She can't. The Lord ain't talking to her. He ain't tell her nothing. You understand? So it's a difference for a woman to be the truth. She has to follow and be up under a man. She has to serve a man of the Lord preferably. You understand?
Shalakia.
This is why women go wrong, because if you look at anything about the feminist movement and the assault on a black man and all of this other stuff, a woman has gotten to the point where it feels wrong to a black or Hispanic woman to listen and do what the hell their husband tell them to do what a man tells. She got to listen to a nigga. She don't listen to a nigga. Yeah, I've seen one of them old women. I ain't got to listen to nobody but Jesus. I done heard women say that to their husband. Old church ladies say that to their husband. You don't tell me what to do. Right? Well, they don't understand. Eve was in the truth, but she broke it because she listened to another man besides her husband who was in the truth. The Lord ain't tell her nothing. When the serpent came, what she said? The Lord said we supposed to not eat of the tree of. How did she know that? Because he told her. You understand? So her being pulled from his rib, this means she was in the family. She was flesh of his flesh. She was a part of the family. And him being asleep, meaning he wouldn't have dealt with her if he would have knew that. But she was in the truth. It's just a different thing for sisters to be in the truth. It's a lot harder for a sister to be in the truth than a brother. You understand? Scriptures say out of 1,000 men, I found one. And out of 1,000 women, I found none. Something like that. You familiar with that scripture? All right, yeah. Ain't that, yeah.
It was just Shalakia.
Go ahead.
It was just the end of it. When after she bare Cain, and she said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh, that was tripping me up because I knew she began to.
She just saying the Lord gave her a son. That's all she was saying. It's not that deep. All right. Now, what we was trying to establish is that sex is marriage, because people think that sex or marriage is if you don't have no. That's why people have friends with benefits. That's what they call it.
Okay.
You could go ask a sister right now, like, are you married? Do you have a man? She'd be like, no, but she just slept with a nigga last night. She just been with a dude yesterday. Nah, I ain't got nobody. Just blew a rod last night. Fresh off it. It was a sister told a man, a brother in the school asked her, what did she have a man? She was like, no, but I'm 2.5 months pregnant. What? Baby ain't even here. She already got rid of the nigga. Everybody understand. This is why the Lord say you shouldn't touch a woman unless you're going to be with her for the rest of your life. Give me Genesis 24:67. Let's go ahead and. I ain't going to get to all of this, man. I wanted to get to everything because we got to talk about marriage. We got to talk about divorce. We got to talk about adultery. All of this concerning the scriptures, right? We ain't going to be able to get to it all tonight. So let's just go slow and establish the fact that sex is marriage. Let's get that out of the way first, so you understand. And I also wanted to make sure that y'all understood that even though when you come into the truth, you find out that the Lord said that a man can have more than one wife, the strongest men in this truth can devote their life and their time and their energy on serving the Lord and not serving their woman and not serving their kids. All right. You got it up? Let's get it.
Genesis chapter 24, verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah.
So this talking about Isaac and Rebekah, right? Isaac brought her into his mother. He took her to his mama crib. Isaac took Rebekah to his mama crib. Go ahead.
And she became his wife.
Isaac took her to his mother's crib, and she became his wife. Go ahead.
And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
Stop right there. And Isaac brought her into his mother's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. Where's the ceremony?
In the tent. It's like
Where's the piece of paper? Where did they leave? This ain't had nothing to do with nothing but them two people that was there in the Lord. Y'all see that, right? Everybody on the class line, on the conference line, y'all see what just happened? Isaac took her to his mother's tent and took Rebekah. Now listen, this is not GMS. When they say took Rebekah, she was a willing participant. And she became his wife. And he loved her. And she comforted him after his mother's death. Y'all on the line out? Y'all done hung up? Can y'all hear me? All right, Most High in Christ. Here's the point. If the piece of paper or legally marriage is the only type of marriage that it is, then what that does is make your body of less value. It makes the act less important of having sex. Do you got marriage in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, Sharatazah? What does it say?
It says marriage is an intimate personal union to which a man and woman consent.
Consummate
and continuously nourished by sexual intercourse.
By what?
By sexual intercourse.
What does it say about a piece of paper in that little bit that you just read? Does it say anything about a piece of paper?
Not sir.
Does it say anything about ceremony?
No.
Read it again.
Marriage is an intimate personal union to which a man and woman consent, consummated, and continuously nourished by sexual intercourse.
Somebody get me consummate. I don't think that's in the Bible dictionary, but you can look it up, Bob. Consummate. What consummate mean? See, what happens is a lot of people understand things from a 2018 perspective. If I say you dressed in gay apparel, a person would automatically assume I'm talking about homosexuality because that's the world we live in. If we say a woman is a virgin, then the person would automatically mean that means she's never had sex because that's the world we live in. But when you're talking about something that's been wrote thousands of years ago, then what you have to do is take these things in the context and see. When you wake up to find out that you're an Israelite, you got to understand what the custom of the Israelites was. Who was these people? How did they live? It was customary for a man to go to a woman's father and ask, could he marry his daughter? Do any nigga do that? They get on one knee and they ask the broad. They ask the broad because that's Roman culture. That's not our culture. Everybody following me? What you have to do is dig in these scriptures and figure out what was our culture before we was under Roman captivity. Because you got to remember, before there was a Roman captivity or American captivity, you had a Roman captivity, the Greek captivity, the Babylonian captivity, the Persians, the Medes. We was in Egyptian captivity. We got all these different things. Now, who are we as a people, and what did the Lord have us to do? And what did we learn from the other nations? Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2 say, learn not the ways of the heathen. Go ahead.
Consummate. Webster Dictionary. To make marital union complete by sexual intercourse.
To make a marital union complete by sexual intercourse. For those that don't know, if you go down to the courthouse, you and your rib, and y'all get a piece of paper, say y'all married, and the state of Florida recognizes that marriage. If y'all don't have sex, you can go and get that annulled. You never consummated the marriage. Even Esau knows the sex is the part. Why? Remember what I told y'all at the beginning, Genesis 1:27, be fruitful and multiply. That was marriage. Then when it came to Adam and Eve, and Adam knew Eve, and she bare him a son, Cain. These are the two things. One, Adam needed some help. The Lord sent him some help. He put a woman in the truth, and he knew her. The other thing is to be fruitful and multiply. This is the reason why people get married. This is the reason. This is the important part of marriage. One or two things. One, you're trying to be fruitful and multiply. You need some jits. You need some kids running around here. The other, you need some help. Everybody follow me. This is according to the Bible. This ain't me. Go ahead, Trey. You had something?
If I may, I got consummation in the Strong's dictionary.
I think we got it up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read it.
Completion, full end, completely, completion.
It ain't complete if you don't, listen, if you don't slap it up, flip it, and rub it down. Oh no. It never happened, huh? Give me Tobit, chapter 8, verse 4. Real quick. I guess that's what it's about, man. Sex is marriage. You can't get around it. Esau know it. The Lord said it. It's in the Bible. The ceremonial part. Sometimes brothers see sisters out and they like, oh yeah, she ain't married. She ain't got no ring on her finger. Well, what if the brother couldn't afford to buy her a ring? That mean that ain't his woman? Rings come from Rome. It's romance. It's romantic custom. It's Rome. All these are key root words. If you don't know no better, then you don't know. Go ahead. You got it up? What you laughing at?
Because I bought my baby mama 2 rings and still ain't do nothing.
Yeah. You bought this baby. That's all right. She your baby mama. You consummated it. Kind. Go ahead, sis.
I have a question, right? Okay. All it takes is, of course, one time to have sex, and it's for life, right? Even if afterwards, let's say, for whatever reason, you stop having sex.
Okay. All right.
Because it says it continues, like the sex is what continues marriage.
Absolutely. What the hell is the purpose of being married to somebody that you're not having sex with?
Well, I mean, things happen. That's what I'm saying. Things happen.
When you say things happen, no, things don't happen. People happen. People happen.
Okay. Now, I know an exception could be, it could be like a sickness or an accident where, you know, something that's out of your control. But I'm talking about, let's say it's purposeful. You know, you might have an issue where, you know, like in the scripture it says, you separate for a time. So if you separate for a time, so even though you stop having sex for a while, you can always reconcile. But even being separated doesn't mean the marriage is over. It just means, you know, not having sex right now.
Okay. The easiest thing to remember is if you understand that sex is marriage, then the marriage is the sex. Now, it's so in our custom, in American culture, it's so many different things that could come into play that is more important than the sex in marriage, right? Because you can get sex from anywhere. You can get sex from anywhere. So now a sister can go get sex from somebody who is not her husband, right? That's how Esau do it. That's how America do it. A brother can go and pay a prostitute or go and get sex from another man's rib, right? So what happens is the water get muddied up because of our way of thinking about what sex really is. Like if you was to tell any teenager at 16, 17 years old now that The first person you ever sleep with, now I'm talking about a young sister, the first person you ever sleep with, you have to stay with them for the rest of their life. How you think they're gonna look at you? They're gonna look at you like, look, I'm already 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in. You late. This is not taught from birth. This is not taught as a custom. If you tell a man, your young teenage son, or whatever the case may be, the woman that you sleep with, you have to keep her forever. Forever. It ain't no getting rid of her. It ain't throwing her away. You got to keep her forever. How many women you think a 18-year-old cat running through and throwing away? This is American culture. This is not our culture. We don't supposed to deal like this. That's the point of the class. That's the point of even going through this. So when you bring it up, you're like, well, what if y'all ain't? That the reason why y'all wouldn't is because we don't take the time to pick the right individuals to marry. That's really what it boiled down to.
Okay.
A brother be 3, 4 kids in before he be like, I hate this bitch. Why the hell you ain't find that out before you start smashing, before you created them kids, before you married her? Really, that's what you did. You understand what I'm saying? You know how many people be like, oh, I love this girl. She fine. She got a good job, this, that, and the other. And then they don't find out till after they got a baby together that they really hate her. They never want to see her again. And she hate him too. She don't never want him to see the kids, none of that. How many of y'all know anybody that's in that situation? They hate their baby mom. They got songs about it. I hate my baby mama. Can't stand her. Don't want to be around her. Now, wait a minute. What was happening when y'all was sleeping together to make them babies? You ain't hate her then, did you? You ain't hate your baby daddy then. This is the point of this class, sis, because in this truth, what you have to do is you have to learn how to apply the Lord's laws to your life. It ain't enough just to come in here and say we in the truth. We got to be different from everybody else. A brother can't just sleep with a girl because she looked good to him or he think it. You better know. You better know. Once you deal with them, you're supposed to continually consummate that marriage to keep it together. Now, in an instance in what you're talking about, I would say it has to be some specifics involved. That would be something that you would call for counsel on. If you're a sister, if you're a brother and you got a rib and y'all not sleeping together, you need to go give her some. You need to go give her some. Just because you got another rib, you need to go see about the one you already had.
Okay. So,
that's law. We ain't even got to that part, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if I answered your question or not, sis.
You just made me lose my train of thought. Yeah. So, okay. My next question after this is that, okay, yeah, you have to consummate the marriage. So it's not always about when you feel like it, but even because you have to.
Okay, that's a whole nother topic. But okay. Here's the point. You shouldn't deal with somebody that you're not going to feel like you always want to feel like that. That's hard, okay. But I understand what you're saying. Like in real life, things happen where, let's just say me and my rib are arguing or we going at it or whatever the case may be. And I don't feel like being bothered or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, once you understand that you cannot get rid of this person, you might as well just go ahead and make up.
Okay, so my next question is...
Salakia. 1 second, sis. 1 second. Okay. All right, 1 second. Think about that question for a second. Somebody got Tobit chapter 8, verse 4, and then we're going to get the sister's question. You got it? Go ahead and read it.
Tobit chapter 8, verse 4. And after that, they were both shut in together.
I believe this was the sister that every time she get ready to get married, she end up killing the dude or something like that. She had killed like 7 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but this is when the brother is actually going in to deal with it. So he's going to marry this sister. Even though she got demons on her, even though she ain't right, he's going to marry this sister. Go ahead. Read it from the top.
Tobit, chapter 8, verse 4. And after that, they were both shut in together. Tobias rose out of the bed and said, Sister, arise, and let us pray that God will have pity on us.
You see that? This brother was smart enough to know, like, look, this sister got some demons on her. She bad, but it's some men that ain't made it out of here alive dealing with her. Sis, he say, sis, get up, let's pray. Most High Christ, go ahead to verse 5. I just wanted to point that out.
Come. Then began Tobias to say,
he know that sister got some demons on her. That nigga's like, get up, let's pray. It's a lock here. Go ahead.
Come. Then began Tobias to say, Blessed art thou, O God of our fathers, and blessed is the holy and glorious name forever. Let the heavens bless thee and all thy creatures. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve, his wife, for a helper and stay.
For a what?
A helper and a stay.
A what?
A helper and stay.
All right. Y'all got that. Everybody get that, right? Keep going.
Come. Of them came mankind. Thou hast said, it is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself.
A what?
An aid like unto himself.
You are me. Those things that I would do for myself, I no longer have to do because my rib is going to do it. We on the same team. The problem is now in today's time, women don't get married because their desires have become their husband's desires. They get married for their own desire. What can he do for me? How can he make me feel? And men do it for the same reason. They don't do it to be the leadership and the protector and the guidance that a woman needs. They do it for their own. This is why the brother is saying what he's saying. Read verse 7.
Verse 7. And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust.
I take what?
Not this my sister for lust.
I take not this my sister. This my fam. He understood brotherhood. I take not this sister right here for lust. I ain't just taking her because she bad, because she look good, because she got that dress on. I ain't just taking her for that. But uprightly, go ahead.
Therefore, mercifully ordain that we may become aged together.
That we may what?
Become aged together.
That we might get old together. This is the prayer that the brother had. And he went in there and he did his thing. There was no preacher in there. There was no state of Florida having to okay this brother's marriage. He went in and he married that sister that night in the chamber. Sex is marriage. Why you think we got a law concerning it? Give me Exodus 22 and 16. And while we getting it, sis, go ahead and ask your question.
Sir.
1 second. The sister had a question.
Yeah, it kind of falls into what you just said, because I was like, you said it's more than just, of course, not just stop at the sex, but you have to make sure someone you're going to have, you want to continue to have sex with. But then when you talk, when you talk about the courting system, I mean, yeah, you can talk to someone for 6 months to a year, or however long.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you really be sure? You know what I mean? Because like you said,
you don't have to.
The person is bad,
Sis, you don't have to marry somebody just because you court them for a year. That number is just thrown.
I know that.
Hold on 1 second. That number is thrown out there as a good amount of time for you to get to know a person, to talk to them, to see if you compatible with that person. You understand? Some people, before that 6 months is up, they already like, yo, I want this sister or I want this brother. I don't even want to wait the 6 months. But will they feel like that after a year? You understand? Some people gonna do the 6 months They gonna do the 6 months and the year and gonna be like, I like her, but I don't know. Forever? Ever? I don't know about that. I don't know. We need to court for another 2 years or something. Let me see if I don't know. Forever is a long time. When you take this thing seriously,
So you think it's because,
go ahead.
so it's because of maybe we short term in that moment versus long term.
Yeah, of course you
That's
feel
why
like that. You just
know.
met somebody, they still got all they cover on. What I mean by they cover on, you might meet a dude, he might, you know what I'm saying? Let's say a dude gonna take you out of something. He ain't finna come over there half stepping. He gonna look good, smell good. You don't even know this nigga don't even take baths when he ain't coming to see you. You don't even know this, you know what I'm saying? He got a little money in his pocket, he don't even got no job. Whatever the case may be. You have to give people enough time to you to meet the person that they really are. That's all it is. Because that's the person you gotta live with. You gotta live with that person.
I have one more question.
Go ahead, sis.
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Now, there's nothing wrong with marrying someone. It's okay to marry someone not because you're sexually attracted to them, but because you actually, it's for other reasons, like the brother said, he wants to go over with her, or he just wants to, have children. But it don't necessarily have to be because it's sexually attracted. I mean,
what I'm telling you is, I don't know about you, and this might sound crazy when I say it. Everybody has seen the ugliest nigga in the world with a bad broad, or vice versa. The ugliest sister in the world with a dude that everybody want to be with. It's really like, it's more important what you saying, whether y'all care about each other, whether y'all got an understanding. That's gonna last longer than anything, because she might look good today, and then when you catch a whiff of that attitude or her mouth, or if you catch a whiff of how this brother is off, or what he like to do, or what he enjoy doing, or how much he's not for the Lord, now all of a sudden you don't like him no more, but you married to him forever. The key is, it's okay to abstain from doing anything until you're sure about everything. Because the Lord ain't playing with this. You don't believe me? Give me Exodus 22:16. Who got it? You got it, Trey? Let's get it.
Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed.
If a man entice a maid, what does it mean to entice a maid? That means, go ahead.
To pay a dowry for, or
wrong. What does it mean to a man entice a maid? I just said it. Go ahead. He spit that game to her. He got her. He done took her to wherever she want to go. Ruth Chris or whatever. What they eat. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He done took her out. You know what I'm saying? They done went, did their thing. The brother done told her what she wanted to hear. Yeah, girl, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm gonna do this and all that. Whatever. And me, now keep in mind, she is not betrothed. What betrothed mean is promised, engaged. She's already talking to somebody else, then this don't apply. But if she's not talking to somebody, engaged in some conversations, talking about being with somebody else, and a man entice her, he spit that game. Keep going.
And lie with her.
And do what?
And lie with her.
And lie with her.
He shall surely endow her to be his wife.
What that means? That means he should make sure that he break her father off for raising her to be that woman that he's dealing with. He gotta pay that dowry. He owes her father. He done lied. I mean, he done took this man's property. This is another thing that is not a part of American culture. This is why we don't understand marriage. We don't understand that it's supposed to be a man in every household. It's supposed to be a man in every household, teaching the men how to be men and teaching the women how to make good wives, what men like. This is the reason why you were born. Even if your mama and daddy are together, unless you got one of them ghetto mamas, you still got your father's last name. You are his property until some man comes and you become that man's property. Then you take his last name. This is even in Roman culture. It's the same way they got it from Hebrew culture. They got it from all the other. It's the same way. Everybody understand that, right? So it's saying you done laid with this man. You ain't went to her daddy. You ain't betrothed to her. Or I mean, she not betrothed to you. You not engaged with her. You ain't asked her for her company. You ain't courted. Now you done spit some game, and now she done gave it to you. Well, that's your woman now, because sex is marriage. All right. Everybody understand that, right? Anybody got any questions about what we talking about?
Shalaka.
All right, go ahead, Sharatazar. I forgot you had a question. Go ahead, Al.
I just wanted that scripture that we read before, Exodus 24:15.
Salakia.
It was Tobit. You talking about Tobit, chapter 8, verse 4? Yeah, it'd be good to read the whole thing too. Make sure I'm not right, because I might have been wrong about the that was the sister that was killing the. I don't know. I gotta read it again. But it sounded like that's what it was. That's all you needed up? All right, Trey, you had something, trooper? I mean, young man?
Khan.
Go ahead.
If I may, I just want to know if I could use Genesis 24:53 for a precept, Exodus 22:16. And that's when Jacob went and got Rebekah, and he paid a dowry to a father, a brother, a mother, set up the whole family.
Go ahead and read it.
Khan. Genesis chapter 24, verse 53. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. He gave also to her brother and to her mother precious things.
That's what you were talking about?
Khan. Because in verse 51.
Who is the servant? Was the servant Jacob?
No, it was for Jacob though.
Huh? Where you get that from?
It's in it's in the chapter. I read it up ahead. That was just a part. I really wanted to.
How you know it's from Jacob? Give it to me.
Khan.
Only because I'm not looking at it. Where you at?
Genesis chapter 24.
Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 24, verse 1. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham.
No, get to the part where it says this was for him. What did you just read before that? And the woman the servant brought.
Verse 53.
So you was finna read 1 through 53.
It was never taught where it was saying about his son.
Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing proceeded from the Most High. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife, as the Most High have spoken. And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped the Most High, bowing himself to the earth. And the servant brought forth jewels and silver and gold and all of this, and gave them to Rebekah. No, this is not it. This is not the same thing. What a dowry is, go ahead and get me dowry in this book right here. What a dowry is let's say I'm a man of the Lord and I raise my daughter, that when her man is talking, she just shut up. Or if her man say do something, she just do it. And she used to doing that because that's what her father had her doing. That's how he ran his household. And she grows up and she take good care of herself and eat right and all of this other stuff because she came up in my house. And that's what we do in the house of Kazak. You understand? Now she's old enough. She's a virgin, meaning not that she have not had sex, but she haven't. But meaning she's of marriageable age now. And there's a brother that wants to be with her. He comes and he says, okay, I would like to marry your daughter. Right? I could say, yeah, but her dowry is this. Because right now, she fixed my sandwiches in my house. She cleaned up my house. When you got her, she's going to do what you tell her to do and not me anymore. You understand? She's your possession. She's not mine anymore. See, we look at things so wrong. Like, even to say that a woman is a possession is like almost like you think about it in terms of how the white man had servants and stuff like that. That's not what it is. It's that, give me Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16 real quick. Go ahead, you got it?
Come.
Read the dowry.
Dowry. Zondervan Bible Dictionary, page 163. The price paid by the suitor to the parents of the prospective bride.
To the what?
To the prospective bride.
The parents of the prospective bride. So, when you just read what we read, Genesis 20, he didn't go to her father. He said if a man entice a maid, he just gamed her up. He got her. It says, well, you should endow her to be your wife, meaning you still got to go to the parents. And you still got to break them off because you would have even wanted that woman if she was all out of hand. That's the thing. Brothers ain't look at things the way they look at things now. Oh, she bad. I'm a smash. From that perspective, they looked at it like if you're having sex with a woman, she belongs to you. It's so hard for us to understand coming up in American culture because you can go to the club, game a broad up. You ain't never got to meet. She don't even know her daddy. Hell, you got to go to her daddy. She ain't never met the nigga. Her mama raised everybody. Everybody mama raised them. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a whole different thing to try to explain it. When it's talking about the dowry, what this is talking about is something different. This is stuff they gave to Rebecca. They didn't give it to her parents. You see what I'm saying? He didn't give it to her parents. All right, so was there any more to that? Go ahead and read it.
Come. Also, the portion that the bride brought to her husband. Genesis 30 and 20, 34 and 12, Exodus 22 and 17, and 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 25.
That's it?
Come.
All right. We got Genesis 3 and 16.
Come.
Here's the thing, right? And this is what we got to understand. Because of our society that we live in now, our whole scope and outlook and vision of what marriage is nothing like it's supposed to be. The brother said it. I was like, well, what's the deal? What do Christians say about marriage? Happy wife, happy life. If mama ain't happy, nobody ain't happy. All of these things that you done heard, you better put that woman first and all of this other stuff, right? Now, so when you hear some brothers in the ISUPK talking about doing it the way that the Lord said do it, it sounds crazy. What you mean? You mean that you got to do everything that nigga say? I can hear you. I can hear the sisters at your job right now. I can hear the sister you trying to talk to that's in the world right now. You really expect a woman to do everything you say? Read Genesis 3 and 16. This is what happened after the sister Eve did not do what her husband said, which her husband told her what the Lord said. But then somebody else told her something different. Girl, you ain't got to listen to that nigga. He just don't want you to be great.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
There might have been a time where a woman didn't have to go through all these hard pains and all of this stuff in order to conceive a child. This was before the truth. Once the truth came in.
Excuse me, you have 5 minutes
before
we start closing.
Okay, I got you. Once the truth came in and they broke the laws, now there's punishment that comes behind that, right? Since she ain't follow her husband who is following the Lord, now there's a debt you got to pay. Now it hurts to have children. Go ahead.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
And thy desire shall be whatever you want.
and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
This is what you're looking for, This is what you're looking for, Akim. You want a sister whose desire is not, I want this, I want that, I want this. It's all about me. This is what I think. This is how I feel. This is what I feel. You want a woman that's, what do you desire? What do you want? That's her attitude towards her husband. Her desire is if he happy, I'm happy. And them kids looking like, mama, please don't piss daddy off. It's the other way around in our households now. Women rule over them and children, what it say?
And
Women are their oppressor and children rule over them. That's where we at now. That's not how it was supposed to be. A man got to be willing to give his life for a woman. She ain't got to give her life for you. She ain't got to protect you from nothing. She ain't got to lead you. She ain't got to know the scriptures. She ain't got to do none of that. All she need to know how to do is say, kind out of one kind. And your job is to do all of that for her. If she come home and she done had a bad day, you got to listen to all of that. And you got to give her the way to make her tomorrow a better day. She ain't got to do that for you. Everything is flipped on this backwards. It's backwards. The people that's supposed to be on the bottom, they on the top. Esau don't have no inheritance, right? The way the family's supposed to be, you got Big Mama and all these people that's getting respected because they're raising the household. Well, there's supposed to be some men there. In a marriage, a man is supposed to rule his house and protect his woman from Satan, from demons. He got to fight them demons off of her. And her desire, read it again.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
She should want whatever her husband wants. I joke around with my rib all the time about this. You remember how that lady was on Coming to America? So what do you like? Whatever you like. No. What do you like? Whatever you like. If anybody finds her, tell her to call the Florida school immediately, do her 6 months, and I'll think about talking to her. All right. Anybody got any questions on what sex is, if sex is marriage? Go ahead.
I have the
Sis, you keep the class interesting, though. Go ahead. I just had to say that. You keep the class interesting. I'm glad you be in here sometime. Go ahead.
I have a question. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 7.
All right, we got to get it quick. What I might have to do, depending on what I might have to take the break. We're going to take like a little 5-minute break real quick. And then I'm going to answer the question. What's the question, though? Go ahead and give it to me. 1 Corinthians chapter 7.
Well, my question is, I just wanted to know the context of it. Is it, the context, because I know it's related to marriage. I just wanted to know the context of what.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and what?
Chapter 7, verse 1, and then
verse 2.
And verse 9.
Verse 1 through 9?
No. Verse 1. Verse 1 and then verse 9.
Okay, verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof I wrote unto you, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, right? That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if you was in here when we first started the class, but the strongest men in the truth are the men that don't have a wife. The scripture said, let them that have wives be as if they have none. That was something we was going to go into if we would have got to having multiple wives. Your first wife, if you in the truth, is the truth. When the Lord started talking about like Christ's wife was the church. He didn't have a woman. And he had women that was rubbing his feet with their hair. He was raising the dead. You think he couldn't get a woman to do whatever he wanted? He said, I have to be about my Father's business. So this is what Paul was talking about. Paul was the same way. Paul was great among men. He spoke different languages. He was a man of renown, right? but they ain't have time to deal with a sister. They had to actually do this work. And that's what Paul was saying, right? Because that's why he said in verse 2, nevertheless, to avoid fornication. You see how they be trying to make them priests in the Catholic Church, they be trying to make them like they this and that, whatever. They can't have sex, and then they be sleeping with little boys. So that's one of them. Give me a second. We're gonna take this break real quick, and then we're gonna come back on the line. We got Officer Sharatazah. Are you anybody over here over Sharatazah in the class? YouTube, call the number 305 985 5453. 305-985 5453. And we're gonna answer questions for the rest. And what we'll do is we'll come back next week and we'll finish this topic because we still got to go through divorce. We still got to go to what is adultery, and we still got to go through multiple wives. All right, so we're going to come back to this topic, but we're going to answer some questions right after this break. So I'm going to take a 5-minute break. If y'all have any questions, there will be an officer on the phone. All right.